Coming up tonight on AfterBuzz SmackDown, the highlight reel returns, vaudevillains in action, rematches from Raw, and we get a familiar face back on television. We'll talk about that and much more. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
This is a badass theme. I'm ready for it to kick in. There it goes. You are listening to us live on AfterBuzzTV.com, the AfterBuzz TV YouTube page, iTunes, SoundCloud. Those 5 stars. You're liking, you're subscribing. Telling your friends about the wonderful world of SmackDown. Doing everything that Scott's doing right now. Let's get into it. What's up, everybody? I'm Christian Rosenberg. The Twitter, @Rosenberg. The Instagram, @Rosenberg. The t-shirts, ProWrestlingTees.com/Christian Rosenberg, Facebook.com/Christian Rosenberg, etc.
Medical bills, damn it.
Yeah. That guy talking about my medical bills @Curtain Jerks. It is Scott Narver.
He's got medical bills, y'all. It's very serious.
It's very, very serious stuff.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt.
Well, not that much, but
millions of dollars in debt.
Yeah, I'm actually I'm almost in the billions. I'm almost
How bad
there.
are you in the ring? That's how high your medical bills were.
Wow, you thought
these were in-ring injuries, correct?
That's how much of a hated heel you are? You're just constantly beaten and thrown in the hospital?
Yes, everyone just beating me. I put a Throwback Thursday up today of Joey Ryan super kicking me in the face.
I saw that.
Was
with his foot?
With the foot, thankfully. Just his foot.
Not nowadays.
No. By the way, the lovely lady next to you, @Christy Reports, Christy Olson.
@Christy Reports /Christian Rosenberg.
Oh, okay.
On the Facebook and the Twitter.
Yeah.
And the pro wrestling whatever store with the shirts and the stuff and the thing and you know.
You just piggybacking?
Oh yeah.
She's completely piggybacking right now.
You're welcome.
Hey, I ain't complaining. So guys, SmackDown, solid show. Building up some more storylines. Don't have too much of a time frame. This is that time of year where it's always a little iffy in the pay-per-views because they're about 3 weeks apart from each other. So you're going to get a lot of rematches from the previous pay-per-view, but I thought tonight they did a solid job overall building it up, and we found out maybe a couple more stipulations heading to the pay-per-view in a couple weeks. So
extreme stipulations?
Some of them.
Guys, there are rules.
But they're extreme.
Good night, everybody.
And the Jimbo Slice on the ones and twos, it's our buddy Jimbo. What's up, sir?
Hi guys, how you doing?
I am swell.
That's great.
I don't know about these two, but I'm swell.
Dandy.
All right, Scott's dandy.
Oh, now I feel pressure to make up a silly word.
You better hurry. Do it.
Groovy. I'm groovy.
Wow.
I'm groovy. I was trying to decide if I was swell or groovy, but
Well,
I'd rather
I said
Scroovy.
Yeah.
We screwed.
I am super scroovy.
That could be a whole nother conversation.
People are worried about your mood, though, Christy.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, well,
I know. Oh, no.
We're
getting to it. It's very exciting these times.
We're gonna find out what stage of grief Christy is at towards the end of the show. So sit tight for that. But first, we have the return of the highlight reel.
Yeah.
Chris Jericho is back hosting it thanks to on Raw. Stephanie McMahon officially canceled the Ambrose Asylum and brought back the highlight reel. Jericho on the mic talks about how Ambrose is not there tonight after the beatdown that he gave him this past Monday on Raw. And he took Ambrose's plant and crushed it against his back.
Aww.
He murdered Mitch.
He murdered Mitch and gave Ambrose contusions with Mitch's dead carcass. Plant roots. Stem. I don't
He
know which
murdered
one.
Francesca. He murdered Mitch. If you have a thing that's named, Jericho will murder it.
He is a serial inanimate object killer.
Yeah. Yeah, don't name anything you love.
No.
Jericho will destroy it.
So, Jericho talks trash about Ambrose. No Ambrose tonight. Apparently he's still in the hospital.
Or he's off shooting Total Divas with his girlfriend.
What?
Could be. Just saying.
I like to think he was in the hospital.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Because that's what they told me on Raw.
Sorry.
Has he been on Total Divas yet?
He was one time, yes, on last season towards the very end.
How crazy was his hair? Like backstage, Dean hanging out.
No. They were in Mexico.
Okay.
And he still wasn't even that crazy. There was like a big horn and he was laughing. I mean, it wasn't that exciting.
So a girlfriend made him crazy. That's unprecedented.
You said it, not me.
But by the way, the chat rolls in mourning for Mitch.
They should be.
We have RIP Mitch 2016-2016. Mitch deserved it. He was such a heel. My favorite one, I feel like I shouldn't say this one, but it's too funny that I have to. Claire Bowie saying Mitch has been signed by TNA.
Oh, yeah. There's a great kayfabe news as well that the debut of Mitchell.
God.
And, I'm totally biased with Morrow because Morrow said a really lame joke, and I laughed. That, what was it? That after Payback, or Dean Ambrose has learned from Jericho that Payback is a Mitch. Yeah, no, he said it, and I laughed.
Jimbo, I feel like you're going to use that a lot tonight.
You're
going to use the rim shot a lot tonight, I think.
If Michael Cole said that, I'd be like, oh, that's stupid. Shut up, Cole. That's
but
dumb.
Ronaldo, well done.
Yeah, he sold it.
Well, Jericho's guest on the highlight reel is Sami Zayn. Jericho calls Sami Zayn a loser, based on him losing to Kevin Owens at Payback, and then calls him a thief for holding up the Intercontinental Championship on Raw. But he didn't really take it with him.
No, so he's really just a showboater, not a thief.
Yeah. And then
He wants to know what kind of man he is.
And then I felt like Jericho did his best creepy Christian Rosenberg impression when he got up in Zayn's
Isn't that
face.
redundant? Do you really need the adjective in front of that?
Well, when I talk like this, when Jericho said, "What kind of human being are you?" I mean, that's not my normal tone.
I didn't hear a difference in tone, did you?
No? No?
Not a bit.
No. I guess I'm just naturally creepy.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, creep, Rosie, creep.
Maybe a new shirt idea. Well, Sami Zayn is busy explaining what he was doing. Da 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 da. He is interrupted by the Intercontinental Champion, The Miz. Miz says that you should not hold the title because you're not champion. And Zayn is poking at the title, literally poking the title. And Jericho says he can relate to Miz. I mean, like, if someone was trying to poke my $15,000 jacket, I'd be very angry too. And Zayn's like, wait, you spent $15,000 to look like a walking Christmas tree? That offended Jericho.
Mm-hmm.
People have said far worse about Chris Jericho over the years, but you insult his blinking jacket. Highlight reel's done. He storms off.
Yeah,
he's like, that's it. I'm out of here. And he walked out.
Questioning his investment, really, where he puts his money.
He might be maybe going on Amazon after and just seeing maybe he could have got a better deal if he just ordered one online.
Sure, yeah.
Yes.
All of a sudden he finds one online for $49.99 or something like that.
Yeah, you go.
But it won't be couture.
Is it couture?
I'm sure it is couture.
Oh, I said it wrong.
I just like how you said it. It just sounds expensive.
That's how we say it on the Real Housewives AfterShow.
So on WWE
Doesn't usually come up here.
On WWE we just say like couture. And on Real Housewives,
couture.
I thought it might have been juicy.
Oh, couture.
It might have been one of those juicy jackets.
No. That would say juicy in hot pink lights on the back.
Well, that's
you
I
gotta
thought
pay
those
20
bulbs are
G's
out.
for that. Could be. Jacket needs a tune-up.
Yeah, Jack needs a tune-up to get them juicy bulbs.
Well, Miz demands respect from Sami Zayn. Maurice says Miz is going to teach you a lesson, and Zayn says, okay, well, why don't we have that lesson taught right now? Let's have a fight.
Yeah, and he tries to rip off his jacket, which did not cost $15,000, but he had the mic in his hand, so he couldn't do it. That's what made me laugh.
Excellent analysis by Christy Olson.
That's your play-by-play, boys.
There you go. So we go right into Sami Zayn versus The Miz. Match is only going on for a few minutes, and out comes Kevin Owens. He then slowly walks down the ramp and then hangs out at commentary. Only at commentary for a couple minutes, eventually gets himself involved in the ring, causes a disqualification. Him and Miz are beating down Zayn. Out comes Cesaro for the save. However, the one tricky thing in here was while Cesaro made the save, while he's delivering several uppercuts, Miz pulled Zayn in the way of one of them, and Cesaro uppercutted Zayn, but then just kind of like, well, and just kept on going. And it was at the end of all this, Cesaro was the one standing tall in the ring, and then he got to hold the title for a minute.
He hates clothes. He just hates them. Like,
I think he hates clothing almost as much as The Miz.
Yeah. Although he kept his accessories on.
The glasses stayed on like the whole time.
He's got to tear those in half because he's tearing everything else in half. He comes out with a perfectly good suit, tears it in half. Then has a shirt that's endorsing himself, tears that in half. Like even Hulk Hogan goes like, "You're just tearing too many clothes." There are kids who need some of these clothes.
I'm just wondering, how long does it take to put like the suit back together after you rip it?
What? You need a seamstress or something. You can't just put a suit back together.
No, I thought
That's somebody's job, dude.
I thought it was Velcro.
What?
I guess he's even stronger than I thought.
Buying new stuff all the time, just
Brand new
tearing in
suit
half.
every show. Every show. He's
Like
every
Cena.
Raw, SmackDown, house show. He's buying like a $500 suit every time.
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
I'm not in the business. I don't know.
One day, Scott. You're around Cesaro's height.
I'm taller than Cesaro.
Are you?
Oh.
Okay, well, then just get yourself a suit and you'll be in.
All right.
That's all you need.
And the strength to tear it in half.
You could just sit in the crowd at every show until you catch his tearaway shirt.
Just catch piece by piece.
I'm starting
to build a suit.
I'm starting.
We are backstage with AJ Styles, Luke Gallows, and Carl Anderson. Anderson and Gallows are asking AJ, why didn't you hit Reigns with the chair on Raw when you had the chance? And it's like, because you kind of second guessed yourself for a minute and then you end up getting powerbombed through a table. That's not fun. AJ is pretty much like, you know what? It's not going to happen again. And I'm going to tell Roman that myself. And he leaves the locker room by himself. No Gallows, no Anderson, no nothing. Sounds like he has a message to deliver to the champ.
And
That lack of response means absolutely.
No, you're just assessing. I had a weird question because they show us the WWE locker room for the males, and they always refer to it as just the locker room.
Mm-hmm.
But there's just a couple of guys in there. There's nobody else milling about. And I guess we're to think that everyone else is in a different locker room. Like they don't change in that locker room. How many locker rooms do you think there are for the guys?
They as far as on TV goes,
yeah, like in
they
the
have
world
like the certain big names will have their own, like or like certain like Miz will obviously have his own. AJ and Gallows have their own. Reigns apparently has his own with the Usos, and then everyone that appeared on Main Event is sharing a locker room together. The reality is, maybe 2 or 3 of the guys actually have their own space, like per their contract or whatever, and the rest are sharing a locker room.
Well, yeah, because the big guys are on their buses, right? I've
Well,
heard
when they
Nikki
travel.
refer several times, like, "Oh, I'm going to go on the bus and change."
Yeah, I mean, because the
They
guys.
don't. Like Cena's not stepping foot in a locker room. Like Big Show's not stepping foot in a locker room.
Well, Big Show
Right?
can't fit in a locker room.
Touche.
locker
That's
room
why he
bias.
needs a bus. But
I would just like to see that at some point they sort of address all the locker rooms that exist on the roster.
yeah, that is true, because you got to think of like, well, do every individual woman have their own locker room too, or they all share one? Because Charlotte's going to have her own. Sasha, based on her character, she's going to have her own.
And Rick's got access to all of those.
No, well, of course. I mean,
it's
because
in
he's
his contract.
coaching Charlotte, he's coaching his daughter.
Oh, right.
That's
Wrestling
why.
coach. Wrestling coach.
Yes, he's a wrestling coach.
Not a life coach.
No, we'll get to life coaches shortly. But speaking of the champion, apparently this week's Believe That has something to do with some old friends of the champ. Mm-hmm. Therefore, brace yourselves, duck and cover. It's Believe That. I warned you, Scott. I warned you. I gave fair warning.
What's in my eye?
Well, get ready, boys, because this is a really, 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 really good one.
Okay.
All right, tell me, do you believe this? Reportedly, the Shield will reunite at Extreme Rules to battle none other than the Bullet Club. That's right, we all know Rollins was backstage at Payback talking to Vince McMahon about his return. He's been out almost 6 months. The timing works out. He's been walking around, training hard. Roman Reigns has this feud with Styles that could totally fan the flames on this whole thing. Ambrose's current feud is like wrapping up. The timing is perfect, and the Shield will battle the Bullet Club at Extreme Rules, boys. Do you believe that?
So it's going to happen at Extreme Rules?
That's what
Absolutely
we're
not.
saying.
Absolutely not. Maybe the Raw after they start it. Rollins ain't showing up at Extreme Rules. I still like my crazy thought of him showing up on Cena's return.
Memorial Day?
Yeah.
So you like your own idea?
Kind of shocking, right?
That's weird.
But yes, Ambrose and Jericho, that should wrap up at Extreme Rules. I agree with you on that. It could make sense. It's just then you have the questions of why is Rollins trying to help them? And then what happens to the Usos? They're the guys, this whole story has been like, oh, they're my family. All of a sudden Reigns just like, oh, but here are my brothers, Ambrose and Rollins. Well, what the hell are the Usos?
They're the so.
So, I mean,
There it is.
I told you there's going to be a lot of those tonight. So, is it going to happen at Extreme Rules? I absolutely do not believe it. Could happen down the road? Sure. But not that quickly.
On Ride Along?
Shut down.
That's where it happens?
Table for three.
Okay.
Table for three. Maybe on the Edge and Christian show.
Oh, okay.
That's really funny. I love the Edge and Christian show. Side note.
I believe this is a match that will happen, but they're already advertising the main event for this.
Maybe they try to shock you, boys.
If they do, that'd be great.
Surprise you hardened
That-
pro wrestling fans for once.
That's sports entertainment.
I would believe
No, I would love to be surprised.
It's like a bad word.
if it were SummerSlam, I totally believe it. But I guess I just don't see it happening. I don't see a totally impromptu thing occurring. I want to believe that, but I don't.
And some people in the chat roll are saying
Or
Green
even the
Thunder.
next one. What's the next one? What's after Extreme
Green
Rules?
Thunder's my guy. What does he
Extreme
say?
Thunder or Extreme
Money in the
Thunder.
bank.
Extreme Rules, the Money in the Bank.
Sure, I believe Money in the Bank even.
Green Thunder said, "I believe everything Christy says except this."
Oh.
I still love you, Green Thunder.
And now they're talking about how hilarious the Edge and Christian show is because I mentioned it.
What do they think of Camp WWE?
Oh.
Let's just throw that out there. Discuss
Discuss Camp
chat
WWE,
roll.
I guess, for a minute. But while we're waiting for them to discuss it, there was something that I do want to mention real quick. We all know my absolute admiration for dirt sheets. We know that I feel like Ric Flair, they should be banned from ringside.
Good one.
So the powers that be at my good buddies at ProWrestlingTees.com, I have a brand new T-shirt to premiere.
Creep Rosie Creep?
That would be the next one.
quick.
That'll be the next one.
Oh.
But Jimbo, I don't know if you have it loaded up yet, or if we have a drum roll or anything.
It's
But
playing on the screen as we speak.
it's playing on the screen as we speak. So
I don't see it. Does it say
Christy and Scott, I'll show them afterwards. But it is
Leave.
the anti dirt sheet shirt.
No.
I'll show you guys
How will
separately here
How will I learn everything about the wrestling
by
industry?
listening to us.
I hate it already.
Listen to me.
Listen to
Blah.
us. So ProWrestlingTees.com/Christian Rosenberg, you can get that shirt. And
But don't you write for the dirt sheets?
I do not write for the dirt sheets.
I'm sorry.
I'm showing Scott and Christy it right now.
Oh, no.
Christy seems thrilled about it.
Oh. I would be cutting that one into all kinds of different pieces, let me tell you.
So, hey, you got a new shirt to get. So hopefully you guys will go and buy that one for today, after the show.
I feel like it's going to be a big seller and I'm going to be annoyed.
Well, don't be annoyed because you know what always cures me when I'm annoyed? Eating delicious Puerto Rican food.
Yes.
And we got
Tequila?
We got it. Is that Puerto Rican?
Is it food?
Well, to Christy.
It goes along with all the things that we're showing tonight. I mean, that's what I wash my guacamole down with. Just saying.
I use chips. I don't know how you get it on there.
So yeah. So once again,
Right in the shot glass.
we see Primo and Epico, if that's what they're going to call them this time,
I'm thinking no.
hanging out at a nice restaurant in Puerto Rico, talking about how great the food is. Their team name is still Greetings from Puerto Rico. And at this point, I hope they do this for 2 more years.
What if their names are Porto and Rico?
Oh, sweet Jesus, that'd be amazing.
Oh, I think you may be onto something there, Jimbo
Give yourself a rim
Slice.
shot, sir.
There it is. There it is. And some people in chat room are liking my shirt. Some people feel like that Chrissy's had a rough week already, and then I threw that on top of you.
Yeah,
So,
that's so
sorry,
sweet.
I didn't think of that.
Aww.
Oh well. Buy the shirt today.
Maybe that's why a certain someone blocked you on.
He blocked me like 3 years, years ago.
He just knew.
Yeah.
You know, he foresaw this. It was like Batman vs Superman, where he's just sitting there at his desk waiting for something to upload, and then saw you like coming through the future and going like, "Look, it's a shirt. No dirt sheets. Follow me on Twitter." Block.
Before I even had a store. Vaudevillains versus the Social Outcasts. So tonight, Social Outcasts are good guys.
Why not?
Yeah, I guess.
They're always good guys.
Where was Heath Slater tonight?
He was socially outcast.
Yeah.
It's as good as explanation as any.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's not like him to not.
Maybe
be
he was
around.
trying to join the League of Nations.
They have a few spots open. They have as in every spot currently open.
Yeah.
We have a little side video promo as the Vaudevillains made their way to the ring, pretty much talking about how the new era will reflect a bygone era when they remove the championships from those 3 clowns at Extreme Rules. By the way, I didn't get a chance to talk about. I didn't get a chance to talk about Enzo.
No,
from Payback.
please share your thoughts.
I thought the dude broke his friggin' neck. Like when I first watched that, I literally screamed. I'm like, oh god, no! Scott's laughing, but I never want to watch a guy get hurt. But like seeing that, I was like, oh god! Like I was like, oh god.
I'm specifically laughing at you screaming. That's what I was laughing at.
No, that's not.
Your reaction to the situation, not the situation itself.
Guys, you keep making fun of me today. It's hurting my feelings.
Oh.
Is your next shirt going to be a picture of our faces with a big accent?
Yes. And then my face to the side with a sad face with it.
Aww.
But yeah, get well soon. Enzo. That injury scared me so much. Yeah, like even chat roll saying like I thought he was dead. I thought the dude broke his friggin' neck.
The look in his eyes as he went down was just ugh.
The fact that, as serious as concussions are, especially these days, the fact that it was only a concussion is, I think, refreshing? Question mark? I don't know. But get well soon, Enzo. Anyway, Vaudevillains destroyed the Outcast Whirly Dervish for the win. And after the match, Big Cass comes out talking smack. Pretty much saying that the two of them look like they're from Sherlock Holmes, trying to solve the case of who's going to get whooped. But the answer is both of you. And
I liked it.
Cass goes in there, takes out both of them. I wasn't too crazy about this because Cass, at the moment, he's still billed as being in a tag team. The Vaudevillains are the #1 contenders for the tag team titles. Cass could have got the upper hand a little bit, but eventually the Vaudevillains should have 2-on-1. Eventually got the upper hand. But Cass just kind of chased him off. And then Axel was like, yeah, take that, guys. That's right, Cass. You tell them. They're soft, just like the way you spell it. And
There's your clown, dude.
and then Cass destroyed Axel.
Yay.
That sounds
Although
sincere.
he was actually mildly entertaining tonight. He just reminds me of every guy that I went to high school with, and it makes me so annoyed when I look at his face.
Axel or Cass?
Axel. Like, I just, like, I can't even look at his face without being like, oh, God.
A lot of guys in high school had beards.
Well, I mean, I'm from Minnesota. They all look like that. Like,
Oh, he is? Well, he's from Minnesota. That's why.
Yeah, no, literally, he looks like every guy I'd never want to see again in my life.
Was every guy that you went to high school with Mr. Perfect's son?
Yes, didn't you know? Minnesota's very small. They just Mr. Perfect is the only one breeding.
A lot of Hennings running around.
Yeah, I mean,
Now it's all Lesnar's.
Now it's all listeners.
yay!
Hey, another rim shot. If you're playing a drink game at home with the amount of rim shots, Christy would tell you to score, but she,
You're gonna
at
get
this
knocked
point,
out
with all
like
the drinks she's
Enzo.
had, she. No.
It is Cinco de Mayo.
Hey, happy Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de SmackDown. Oh.
Yes, that. Women's division tag team match is how this match was introduced. Christy sounds pleased by that. Natalya and Becky versus Charlotte and Emma. Excellent match. Loved this match. Thought it was great. Gave it good time. Everyone... Christy's giving me the look of death. What the hell?
No, I'm sorry. Please finish.
No, I want to stop right now because apparently you highly disagree with me.
I just didn't love it. I didn't think that Natty and Becky were believable as a tag team. They clearly, for two women who've been around for a while and have worked together, looked like they never met each other in their lives when they got in the ring together tonight. I didn't think the storytelling was there at the very end, but up until then, it just seemed like another one of these, like, okay, we're letting them all have time. We're showcasing all of them. Check it out. Don't you love this? It's like, I want to see them all out there, but not in this way.
Well, they were working on two storylines at the same time in this match. There's a few with Becky and Emma, and obviously there's a few with Charlotte and Natalya.
Okay, well, give me two matches then.
Oh,
I mean,
when you have 3-hour Raw, maybe we'll have Charlotte versus Becky, and we'll have Emma versus Natalya. Flair, yes, Flair.
Ric Flair.
Ric Flair.
Hey, he hasn't been banned from Raw.
No, he hasn't. I did really enjoy this match. I did find it funny that Charlotte at one point says to her dad, "Hey Dad, this is for last night," and slaps Natalya. She forgot that SmackDown airs on Thursday.
Something terrible could have occurred the other night.
It's true. Like Wednesday night, cameras weren't there.
Yeah.
Something might have happened.
She might have been trying to upload something, sitting at her computer, saw you in a flash forward showing off your no dirt sheet shirt, and then just like, Dad, did you see this? Explain the whole thing, and then this is for last night.
I think that is exactly what happened.
That's what her thing says on the side. It says, no dirt sheets, no thanks. I love dirt sheets. I'm a Flair.
Well, Dirty's playing the games. Gotta love dirt sheets, so I can't be mad at that.
Got it, yeah.
I can't be mad at that. They might still buy a shirt.
And Flair has dirty sheets.
Whoa.
That's Space Mountain. That's part of the trick.
No. I think Scott's gonna win with the rim shots tonight.
I'm gonna wear out the button.
So sharpshooter on Emma. Emma ends up tapping out. So the win for Natalya and Becky. Continuing to build up these stories, and yeah, at Extreme Rules, it will be Natalya versus Charlotte for the Women's Championship again. Submission match, specific stipulation, and Ric Flair is, as we were saying, banned from ringside. I'm cool with this, especially the way they had the match finish on Payback, because I was like, no, there shouldn't be a rematch between them, but the way they had the Payback match, and I was like, oh, well, now they have to have a rematch.
And this is what you're talking about. They believe that from a while back.
You believe that was correct, that they would go 2 pay-per-views with us.
Yay,
you were correct
finally.
on that one.
Whoop, whoop.
Finally, you got one.
Yay.
All right. 1 out of 20.
Uncross those dirt sheets.
1 out of 20 dirt sheet articles is correct.
And hey, Rick is only banned from ringside, so he could be on the ramp.
Oh,
Yeah.
technicality.
I would love to see him show up in like the disguise he wore on Wife Swap. And
I
be like,
loved that.
"Ha-ha,
I love
You thought you'd ban me from ringside, but I have a mustache. It's not me."
Oh, let him be an old lady at ringside. Let him be dressed as an old lady at
That'd be
ringside.
amazing.
Could happen.
Oh,
Like the granny from Pro Wrestling Secrets Revealed.
Yes. Yes, like her.
Precisely. Roman Reigns is backstage with the Usos. One of them's got a grill now. One of them's got like,
Oh, I didn't notice that.
I don't remember. I don't know if it's Jimmy or Jay, but one of them's got a bunch of stuff in their teeth now.
Oh, speaking of spending $15K on something stupid that makes you look silly.
Hey, you got one.
Yay! No, love those Usos. Whatever they want to do. It's cute. Love it.
AJ walks in, and Reigns pretty much talking about, I was like, you got a lot of guts, come in here by yourself. And AJ's telling him on Raw, I took the high road, and I didn't hit you with a chair, but don't think I'm gonna do that again. AJ asks Reigns if he's
There's a lot
gonna
of chairs in there. You could have hit him right then.
Yeah, I mean, there was benches, there was all different weapons he could have used.
Yeah, there were jocks. Put a jock in someone's face.
There were Usos.
Yeah.
You could have used an Uso.
Taking out a grill. Put them in his mouth.
There.
Swapping germs.
Yeah.
Gross.
He was wearing a hat. Could have used that. AJ asks Reigns if he'll be out there tonight during the main event. Reigns just like, I'm the champ. I'll do what I want. He didn't say it like that, but...
No, he said it even less, than that. He said it even cheesier and dumber than that.
Can you try? Can you try to say it like him?
Can't even think of what this stupid, I'm the champ and it's my family and I'll be wherever I want to be.
He is becoming a creator wrestler going through the story campaign. He is now the guy. They refer to him as the guy.
Yeah.
Just a generic thing where they can't put, your name into the game.
And then this is where, after that segment happens, they give you the options. Do you want to be at ringside for the match? Stay in the back during the match. Yeah. He chose option A.
He is the creator wrestler story mode brought to life at this point.
Now we have a segment that we have to discuss. A face that we really haven't seen much on TV the last several months has returned.
Yay!
With a new quest. The quest has begun for one Darren Young. Remember him? He's looking for a guiding light. He's looking for a life coach. He's been searching far and wide, and he didn't realize that the person that he was looking for
is across the room using a green screen as well.
And that person is WWE Hall of Famer Bob Backlund. Bob Backlund then looks and says, "Yes, I'll be your wrestling coach." Darren's like, "Well, I appreciate it, but I got the wrestling thing down. I'm looking for a life coach." And Backlund was pretty much like, "In life, you have to wrestle," or something. I don't remember what he said.
Said wrestling is life.
Oh, wrestling is life?
Yes.
You're making this segment far more not stilted and awkward, by the way, too.
Am I?
Yeah.
Okay. Should we just admit this? Should one of us be Darren and the other be Backlund?
It would be weird because we have to get in front of a green screen and not look at each other and have weird timing, even though we're in the same room.
Just look at our cameras and Jimbo can just flash. So I'll be Darren and you'll be Backlund? All right. So I've been searching for a guiding light, and I've been looking far and wide, and little did I know, it was right in front of me. Will you be my life coach, Mr. Backlund?
What, now? Now? I don't remember the words that you gave me. Now?
Yes, now! You can be my guiding light. You can make Darren Young great again.
Now's when I say the words that were on the piece of paper beforehand. I don't say what I feel that's inside of me that I want to react to naturally. Now?
Yes, Mr. Backlund, now!
One take? We're only going to do one take of this?
Well, we're trying.
That's kind of what I was
saying. That was pretty much what we got.
That's what y'all missed out on in Dallas.
Oh, thank you, studio audience.
You gotta see it. It's weird. And by the end, they hit a stride right at the end, and it's interesting. But that graphic made it all.
Make Darren Young great again. All right, so is this obviously it's a pun on Donald Trump's political slogan, of course, but so are we going to build this up? Is it just going to be some video, some vignettes to introduce us to the new Darren Young character, and he comes out on his own, or is Backlund going to actually be his manager?
I think it's going to be that.
That's what they were implying, but I think you're correct that the chemistry may not be there, at least yet. So maybe the plan will change.
I don't know, but I am intrigued.
Yes.
I really want to know what the hell they're going to do with this. Because it's not your typical setup.
No, it would have been kind of cool to see the search far and wide. We just got, his word of oh yeah, I looked at everybody. Oh, well, we have weeks of television. It would have been kind of cool to see you go through your candidates and not get them.
Right.
But, oh well.
Unless we all of a sudden next week we see the whole thing with Backlund didn't work, but you are going to be my guiding light, Sergeant Slaughter.
Oh, that could happen. Or
you will be the one, Ted DiBiase. I don't know. You just keep picking all these.
Ted DiBiase Jr.?
Yes, Ted DiBiase. Oh, or maybe Virgil. He's not doing much.
My old BFF from the red carpets.
Oh, wow, that's not name dropping at all there.
I
is it?
know.
All right.
No, just when I first started working the red carpet circuit, Ted DiBiase Jr. was like trying to promote everything. He was out like walking carpets and doing interviews all the time, and then he just disappeared.
Wow.
And I haven't seen him since. Has anyone seen Ted DiBiase Jr.?
I have not, but Christy, that is clearly in poor taste. How dare you do something like that and not talk about something like, I don't know, Joey Ryan super kicking you in the face?
On my throwback
Oh yeah,
Thursday,
I posted that today on my Instagram or whatever.
That doesn't change the fact of name dropping.
When I promoted a brand new T-shirt today that you can buy at prowrestlingtees.com/Christian Rosenberg, how dare you? I mean, I could go on and talk about the different people that were on tonight that I've interviewed too.
I've been on a show with Tom the Calm Connolly.
Please, if I was gonna drop names, do you think I would start with Ted DiBiase Jr.?
Wow.
That's
the best
biggest rim shot of them all.
That's the best one right there.
I win.
Christy wins. Scott, you were ahead.
Everyone have 2
Christy
shots
just
of tequila.
I gladly bow to that. That was a good one.
Rusev versus Zack Ryder. Zack got a little bit of offense in, but the key thing is one big old bump on the noggin of Rusev. That looked nasty. You would have thought blood, because we see people get cut. We don't really see these giant bumps happen very often.
Yeah, not often do they get a mouse. So
a mouse?
Yeah, that's what it's commonly referred to as.
That bump on their head is called a mouse? I've never heard of that.
Because it looks like the rolly ball on like a mouse, like a clicky mouse for a computer.
Exactly, yes. Bill Gates created the name for it. Jimbo, back me up. You've heard this, right?
Yes,
What?
it's when the blood clots like under and it like starts to form the bruise and it bubbles.
Yeah.
It happens a lot in UFC.
So yeah, then
UFC, I've seen it.
they put like a cold compress on it, but yeah, they refer to it. The commentators always call it like you got a mouse above your eye, something like that.
Well, Rusev crushed Accolade, got the win on Zack Ryder, and then after the match, Kalisto ran out, knocked Rusev down, and ran away.
Yeah, because he
Rusev-
still got the title.
Well, Rusev's the #1 contender for the U.S. title now. However, Rusev didn't continue the beatdown on Ryder after the match. He wasn't on the microphone insulting Kalisto, but out came Kalisto, took him down, and ran for the hills.
He's probably watching what Lana did in the back beforehand, and then Rusev not wanting any part of that because. I don't know. It seemed like Lana got dumber at the beginning of the show. Like
She's
just
giving
was
us a
dim-witted.
different Lana lately. She really is.
But I don't know if you guys saw. So this week's like Michael Cole interview, his weekly WWE.com interview, was with Rusev and Lana. Watch it.
Done.
This is the Rusev that I've wanted.
Okay.
All of a sudden, he is just a cocky asshole.
And she's being more like fun and flirty, right? And less like ravishing Russian.
A little flirt,
Right.
like Michael Cole was asking about Total Divas, and Rusev's just like, nah, the cameras follow us. Cameras are everywhere, if you know what I mean. Like what did he just say? Type thing. I'm like,
All right,
sweet.
now I have my homework for the night.
It's like 5 minutes. You'll get it. You'll get it done. Goldango. Yeah, I'm still calling him that. They're doing some dancing lessons in the back. Fandango not pleased with Goldust's progress.
Oh, his hips are out. He can't do it anymore.
I mean,
tired.
he's old.
Stanky
He's an
legged all
older
week
guy
or whatever.
Yeah, he's been. That's a lot of stanky legging. The Gorgeous Truth show up, and R-Truth and Fandango having an argument. Want to do a dance off. Yes. R-Truth tries to hand his selfie twig to Breeze, and he literally it just falls to the ground. It was hilarious.
He's so good. I love him so much.
Which one? I love all.
R-Truth.
I love all 4 of them.
This whole thing is
whole
just
thing's been
working
great.
spectacularly. But R-Truth in particular is he's just too much fun.
He's the glue.
Yes.
He's the glue in all this.
So Fandango and R-Truth shouting back and forth. And Fandango officially makes the challenge that we have been waiting months for. Next week. I don't know if we have some suspense music, Jimbo, but this would be where we would put it. I guess drum roll could work. Next week. Gold down, go.
forget?
I forgot the team names. They keep changing.
Roman Reigns versus AJ Styles.
Gold down, go.
Versus The Shield.
Versus the Gorgeous Truth.
The Bullet Club.
It's finally going to happen.
And there will be no dirt sheet coverage.
And no survivors. Well, actually, there'll probably be survivors, but we're going to see what happens next week. It's finally going down. Maybe it can lead to them having some type of Extreme Rules moment. Put this on a friggin' pay-per-view already. They've earned it.
Yeah, because it's not fair if it's going to be 3 minutes worth of television. Which I fear that it might be.
Yeah.
And that brings us to the main event of the evening. Gallows and Anderson versus the Usos. AJ and Roman Reigns decided to show up. I mean, he had the option. He said he could do what he wants.
Yeah.
Match is going on for just a couple minutes. All of a sudden, Reigns and AJ both get involved. Match is thrown out.
Ding, ding, ding.
But AJ's like, let's continue what happened on Raw. Let's change it to a 6-man right now.
It was a little different then. He said, like, not just what happened on Raw. He said, I thought this was a different era that, you know, do they only care about what goes on Raw? Because Shane and Stephanie don't care about SmackDown. They're not showing up. They're not seeing what's going on.
Hey,
they're not there for the chaos.
But they got Mauro Ranallo there, and Goldango was there, and Darren Young was there.
Clearly, yeah. Shane and Stephanie are not watching that show because all those other people that are not on Raw are showing up on this show.
But I mean, you know, Tyler Breeze was there, and
Oh yeah,
and the
the
Social
fans
Outcasts
love Tyler Breeze.
wrestled, and I mean, you know, all the high guys. I mean, the Greetings from Puerto Rico were there.
Well, they show up everywhere.
Not everywhere. They're in Puerto Rico.
So yeah, AJ was. I like that AJ acknowledged that, you know, SmackDown should have ruling as well. That it shouldn't just be Raw. So he's doing everything great, this guy.
Yeah.
Make AJ Styles the GM of SmackDown.
AJ0314 in the chat roll just said AJ Styles the interim general manager of SmackDown.
Yes.
Wow, and AJ
Great
made
minds.
AJ made AJ the GM.
That's how that
I
works.
like it.
So that
Fan
works. If you have
power.
the same name, you can make rulings like that.
So it turns into a 6-man. Great match like it was on Raw. This time, however, the Samoan faction, or as a lot of people on Twitter like to call them, the Busos.
I think wrestling memes coined that.
Yeah, they probably did.
Friend of mine, yeah, Tom Anstey.
Nice.
They got the win tonight as Reigns speared Carl Anderson and got the win, and Reigns and AJ continue to stare down as SmackDown goes off the air. Great match. Do you think we're going to have some type of match at Extreme Rules with Gallows and Anderson
Like
and the
the
Usos?
Shield versus...
Like the Shield, like Usos will just hang out, and we'll have the Shield versus the Bullet Club, or the Club, because they haven't called them Bullet Club yet on TV.
Yes. I
And
believe that.
we'll just eliminate the title
Yes.
because AJ doesn't want the title after all, and we'll just go with a 6-man. Ambrose
You know,
will forget
I feel
about
like
Jericho.
I read that somewhere.
Ambrose will forget about Jericho for a minute.
It was on the back of a T-shirt that every week prints up the latest dirt sheet rumors. On the front, ironically, says no dirt sheets.
Well, that does it for SmackDown. We got news and gossip, and I know Christy does not want to talk about it, but it has to be discussed. Let's get the news and
It just
gossip
makes
music.
it real.
AfterBuzz TV News.
So, are you ready, Christy? Do you want me to say it?
Yeah, I can't formulate the words.
Daniel Bryan retired, everybody.
Yeah, I mean, it was a tough day in February.
It was a really tough day, and then that's what we're talking about, right? The latest
Actually-
news and gossip.
Actually, it wasn't him. I mean, someone else is home.
Oh, okay.
It's not Daniel Bryan.
John Cena.
John Cena is
lazy
at home
bum.
resting from his surgery that he just had
Yeah.
5 months ago. Nope, not talking about him either, though. The man I'm talking about is Ryback. Ryback was not at Raw. He had maybe his best match, in my opinion, at Payback.
That match
His match
was
with Kalisto.
awesome.
I put Zayn and Owens number 1 and Ryback Kalisto close second, because that match was fantastic.
Well, I go AJ Reigns, and then I go Ryback Kalisto.
Oh, so you even have that above the Owen-Zayn match.
Mm-hmm. I do.
And apparently, Ryback's wanted a couple different things, and these have been reported by TMZ, Pro Wrestling Sheet, our buddy Ryan Satin, and of course, Ryback's even said stuff himself on Twitter. First off, he wanted to trademark the phrase "the big guy," which ain't gonna happen. But more importantly, he was talking about how all wrestlers should be paid equally. Because on one hand, they're all going out there, putting their bodies on the line, performing in front of the crowd. And because of which, he feels it's unfair that one person gets more money than, say, their opponent does. I can understand his argument, but in what sport does that happen? Does LeBron James make
other
the
sports are not predetermined. That was part of his point as well.
True.
Because he's also not just saying that. It seemed more specific to me that not everyone gets paid, but if you're in a program with someone in a certain spot in the show, that the winner and loser get paid equally. So this is such a different time with pay-per-view bonuses going away, residuals for DVDs and Blu-rays and all that sort of stuff going away. Those are practically gone. Those were such a big element of guys' pay. And I don't know if it's to the effect of live shows that he might be talking about, that pay out bonuses of the crowd, that if you're on certain spots in the card, you get paid in certain spots in the card. And if it is, as he says it is, that winners are getting paid more than losers, that seems absurd to me. Because if you're on the same spot, you know, for example, if you're in the middle of the show and you're getting $10,000 for that night, but the winner gets 8 and the loser gets 2, that's crazy to me, because you're both in that spot doing it together.
Well, it's
There's not a winning purse to be had.
It's not necessarily like that though, because they're all on. Now they get bonuses depending on like if they're used, say, for the pay-per-views. Like if they're on a pay-per-view, then you get like then you get a bonus.
But those are gone now.
No, but I'm saying, like, you know, you're wrestling that extra night or something like that. Like the WrestleMania bonus, there's SummerSlam bonus. They still have those to an extent.
Sure, but like I said, those are fleeting. So the initial pay, you get a flat contract of your pay, and then those bonuses, those incentives are going away. So the pay scale has changed for a lot of these guys. So it's all different now. So he's questioning the system, which is what I appreciate.
But let's do this. Let's take Ziggler and Baron Corbin just for an example of a feud. The week heading into Payback, Ziggler had a match on Main Event. Just had a regular old match. He still has a pay-per-view match coming up. This match had really nothing to do with the storyline per se, but he is making more money than Baron Corbin, based on longevity, based on name value, based on merch sales, etc. Is Baron Corbin going to complain that he's not getting paid as much as Dolph Ziggler, even though he's having a match with him? I would hope not, because in this case, Ziggler is helping Corbin get elevated, get noticed more, for him to eventually keep building up, so then when he's ready to renew his contract, at that point, then, hey, I've worked with this guy, we've done this, we've built these things up, these are the type of crowd reactions, I should get X amount of dollars.
I think that's putting more of the show element into it. Corbin's doing the exact same thing for Ziggler. And all realistically, that's what's happening. He's making Ziggler just as relevant and interesting and compelling as an opponent who should be climbing the ranks as Corbin is. They're both doing that for each other, as is everybody like down the line in programs together. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying a base contract like everyone should be getting paid Cena money. That's not what I'm saying. And I don't fully understand Ryback's fleshed out argument, but if it is a question of within the spot on the card and there's a payment for that, and the two opponents are getting paid differently for that base pay of the show, that's weird. I like when guys speak up. I like when guys make waves and question the system in place. When Punk did it, it was cool. When Ryback does it, he's bitching and whining. It's weird.
I'm not saying that.
No, I'm saying it was that from the like an overall reaction of the crowd. Like he's not the cool guy right now, so it's like, oh well, whatever. You're done. Go away. Leave us alone. But he's got guts enough to do it. Whether or not you agree with him or not, I think it's pretty cool that he's doing it and shining a spotlight on it. I hope more info of what he's talking about comes out.
And when you consider the fact that this is his lifelong dream, he's one of those guys who's out there because he watched as a kid and wanted to be there, and he's willing to sacrifice all of that for this argument that he's making. I mean, at least I have a lot of respect for that. However, this is not at all what I thought was going to be his complaint. I thought he was going to have a problem with his place in the company right now and the fact that they're not pushing him, the fact that he was in a great spot like a little over a year ago or so, and they kind of just took everything away from him. This shocked me because it was the last thing I expected him to complain about, really.
Did they take it away from him, or did he, I know this is obviously a whole different debate, did they take it away from him, or did he not live up to the expectations they were hoping he would?
Who knows?
Yeah, again, that you can argue either way on that too.
And that's a list of guys.
I think Ryback's argument, instead of being about everyone getting the same base pay, should have been that like the McMahons and the writers and the people that push the pencils decide whether or not you deserve to make John Cena money or not by pushing you. Because there was a time where Ryback had the foam hand, the necklace, the t-shirt, the beanie, the wrist rings, the gloves, that he was about to be Cena caliber level.
Christy has all that
stuff. And
stuff.
then it all just faded away. And, like, I see his argument of, like, yeah, dude, like, wins and losses do matter because, like, when you put people over other people, the fans see that, and then they want to buy their person's shirt. Or they want to do this, or they want to do that. So I see his point, but, yeah, I think it wasn't the right argument to make, if that makes sense.
And I mean, The Rock has lost more matches than he's won. So I mean, you know, you don't have to be.
But The Rock also got way more featured time on a bigger platform.
Right. I'm just using as far as the wins and losses part.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, you know, there are plenty of guys. Again, we can go back and forth on all different course of this. I respect him for speaking his mind, not being afraid to speak his mind. I've gained a lot of respect for him for that. My personal opinion, I feel the argument is foolish. Every performance, I won't use the word sport. Every performance, even all right, let's go Broadway script. The main characters are getting paid more than the minor characters, right?
Well, yeah.
So,
but again, it's their, and like it's categorized much like that's what I'm saying with that. So if it is main event guys getting main event money, that is the stars of the play getting the star money, and then there are supporting players that get supporting money, supporting players in the mid card that get that money, and that it's not if you have the male star and the female star of the show that she gets paid less because she's a female, or
well, there's that whole separate argument,
and
too.
That's what I mean. Like it gets into that for performance sake, and then that's what I mean of just as far as opponents. Like if two guys, the old days. This is an old example, but the old days of Hogan on the house shows, Hogan would make thousands and thousands of dollars, and the other guy would make a little bit, working with him, and it wasn't equal pay for a predetermined performance. That's what I mean in part. You know, it's equaling out that for the night. I'm not saying overall for all of time. I'm saying if there are pay bonuses for the night, that those in that position get it equally together.
I mean, to my knowledge, the only bonuses that do occur are during pay-per-views. Other than that, you're on your contract that you have set. If you want to try to restructure it, all right, that's between you, WWE, your agent, whatever. I mean, I know we got to get ready to wrap up. But, I mean, if we go back to the Broadway example, so yeah, so you have your main characters getting their main money, the supporting characters getting supporting money. Say, hey, one of those supporting guys, hey, we really like you to now move up for this role or to be the star of this show. Yeah, they're gonna adjust it, and all of a sudden now they're going to get that money, and the supporting people are going to get that money. So it always goes around, and WWE, in my opinion, gave him his chance to be that guy on at least two different occasions, once as a heel, once as a babyface. And whether it was injuries, whether it was poor writing, whether it was he just couldn't get himself over with the crowd and believable that he was in that position. Obviously, you can make the argument on any one of those things. It didn't work. And with that, he stood up for himself, which I admire, said what he felt, but did it at a very awkward time, and got sent home. His contract ends sometime in the summer. We're probably not going to see him again on WWE TV.
I know, you're right.
Poor Zack Ryder. We're talking about Zack Ryder, right?
I thought we were still talking
Kind of
about...
like the Jersey Shore situation, like when Jersey Shore became like so big and popular and everyone was tuning in and watching it, and the situation was a character that everyone was like tuning in to see how big of a douchebag he was going to be. He went to his agent and was like, you need to renegotiate this contract because like I'm one of the top stars of the show now.
Yes.
And he got more money for that. So like maybe Ryback should have waited till he was in a better spot to be like, hey Vince, I feel that like me and Kalisto should be making the same money when we're wrestling on the same spot in the card, as opposed to like you were saying, Scott, where like CM Punk says it and everyone's like, oh yeah, you're absolutely right, but then Ryback says it and they're like, oh, you're just bitching because you don't like the way you're being used. So.
And also like the timing of it, he wraps up having a great match. They promoted him being the Battle Royal. So I mean, we don't know what type of plans were. Was he going to win that Battle Royal, have one more shot? Was he going to start a feud with somebody else? He still had, like we said, 3 or 4 more months on his current contract where he, towards the end of it, usually, unless they've already renewed it, that's when they start kind of keeping you off TV until they negotiate the stuff. So usually maybe 1 to 2 months is when they do that. In this case, nope. Bye.
I know, it's so sad. I hate to have him go out like this. I hate it. I hate it.
Well,
I hope he releases more. I hope it's what Austin talks about, like, challenge the system, get in people's faces, say what you want to say.
Yeah.
So.
And if Priscilla disappears along with those big paychecks, you know who to call. That's all I'm saying.
there you go. And on that note, that could even been one more rim shot, but we got plenty of those. We're going to wrap up this week's SmackDown. You can continue chatting about this as well as anything else wrestling related on the YouTube page. And, of course, you can reach out to us on the various forms of social media. Christy, Olson, how can people console you?
At Christy Reports on Twitter, Instagram, and check out Snapchat as well. And please also subscribe to my YouTube channel at Christy Reports. Please, I need the support, guys. Just tweet me.
Scott.
Tweet me.
You can listen to my comedy wrestling podcast, Curtain Jerks, available on iTunes and SoundCloud, and you can follow me on Twitter at Curtain Jerks.
All right, and you can follow me on Twitter at Will Rosenberg, Instagram Real Rosenberg. Buy my new anti-dirt sheet t-shirt. ProWrestlingTees.com/Christian Rosenberg. And please go like the Christian Rosenberg Facebook page. I'm finally starting to do stuff with that. There's going to be a lot of original content solely for that page. So we want to like that as well and stick around and find out what I'm going to do on that. And Jimbo, how can people reach out to you?
Follow me on Twitter at TheJimboSlice with 2 E's and check me out on the Lucha Underground After Show at 10 o'clock.
There you go.
All
Thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. For Jimbo in the booth, Christy Olson, Scott Narver, I am Christian Rosenberg. We will see you later.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.